Thank you, CB. You know, Joe, last night, President Biden sure had some jokes for former President Trump.
Sure.
But looking at this new CNN poll, it kind of seems like the joke's on him, does it not? I mean, pulling this up, this full screen, Trump versus Biden, the opinion of presidency. Trump, 55% success. Biden, 39% success. And at this point in the presidency, President Biden is the least popular commander-in-chief in 7 decades.
7 decades. Imagine that. So you're least popular than Carter, and that's the last Democratic president to only have 1 term. You go deeper in this poll, Trump's lead goes to 9 points when you include RFK Jr. This is absolutely devastating because it's not just one poll we're going to cherry pick out and say, see, this has been since October. We see consistently Trump leading nationally, but leading in all those states that matter, like North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And remember, 2016 and 2020, I went back and looked. Trump wasn't leading in any polls against Hillary Clinton, and he won. He wasn't leading any polls with Joe Biden, and he nearly won. So what does this tell us about 2024? Overall, if Trump wins this presidency, right, you don't have to wonder what it's going to look like you would with any other challenger to an incumbent, because we already saw what it looked like 2017, 2018, 2029. We had peace, we had prosperity, and we had a relatively secure border. I'm not including 2020 because COVID turned everything upside down. So if you want a preview of Trump going forward, he had the most successful 3 years, 2017 to 2019, of any president since Bill Clinton, 95 to 97. And that's why I think right now, if the election were held, he wins the presidency, and he wins it easily, Nicole.
Well, but former President Trump is tied up in all of these legal cases. And, Anita, you have former President Trump continuing to say that not being out on the campaign trail is actually hurting him. But if you look at this poll, Trump leads in presidential election matchup with third-party candidates. 42% Trump, 33% Biden, 16% RFK Jr. What do you make of that?
Well, I make of that not being out on the campaign trail is not hurting him at all, because, you know, what people are seeing is Trump tied up in court every day. All the networks are covering it a lot. So they're seeing him. And I think a lot of people, mostly his base, but maybe others, are feeling sympathy for him, that he's stuck in the courtroom and can't be out campaigning. Because, like you said, that poll shows that his numbers are not going down, they're going up. And to the previous poll that you mentioned, that CNN poll, I just find that stunning. That 55% of people who, right after January 6th, considered Trump's first term a failure, now it's reversed. They think that looking back, reflecting back in hindsight, they say, well, gee, that looked like a success compared to what we have now. I just find that stunning.
Well, I wonder what the Biden administration, what they're going to be doing, Jason, in terms of looking at these polling numbers. Now that you have President Biden saying to Howard Stern this week, you know, he wants to debate, and we haven't seen the walk back from the White House yet. But Jonathan Martin, Politico senior political columnist, said on Meet the Press this.
I'm curious for what Jen Psaki's reaction would have been like if she was still in the White House when she heard President Biden blurt out during a live interview that he was going to debate. Because Biden's folks don't want him to debate. They don't want to give Trump that platform and risk exposing Biden like that on national TV.
Except I was thinking, if I was in my old job from 2 years ago, you also don't want him to say no, because no is weak and no is fear. So you have to say yes. They both have to say yes.
So do you think, Jason, with these latest poll numbers, that Biden's going to move forward with that debate or not?
No, there's no way they're going to. Those puppeteers, there's no way they're going to allow that guy out on the stage to debate. The big discussion in the White House last week was, how are we going to get Joe Biden to walk to and from the helicopter without looking like the feeble old man that he is? The cognitive capability of this president does not allow him to debate. Those 5 people on MSNBC or whatever network that was, they all know that Joe Biden does not have the wherewithal to go toe-to-toe with the single best debater we have seen in Donald Trump. There is no way they're going to let him do that. No, absolutely not going to happen.
I just think a debate would be highly entertaining.
Oh, it'd be so entertaining.
For us, it'd be great.
I think it makes for great TV. But we got to leave it there.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.